All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Thursday, 222, that being February 22nd, of course. Great to see Grant, Michael, Luis, all of our students and members joining us inside our live trading room. Just give me a quick chat back. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. We have had a crazy day today, and in a good way, of course. Markets are steady up. I mean, really coming off the Fed minutes meeting just yesterday, had a strong close yesterday, an even better afternoon thus far. And with that, great to see all of our students here just joining us. Michael, Margaret, big shout out to Roseanne. There we go. Larry, and all of our students just joining us here otherwise. And if you're just joining us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., that being at Cyber Trading U on the lower left. Now, with that in mind, though, we obviously have to talk about IOVA, of course, right? No, obviously not. We're here to talk about NVIDIA. We're here to talk about NVIDIA, folks. Obviously, popping off after hours yesterday with earnings, and then even the breakout furthermore this morning. Well, I was going to try and take a stab on this and see after the pop up here. I was looking for a pullback. My level was 760. I thought if there was any level we can get a pullback, maybe 760. Didn't. Ended up bouncing from 765, 768, moved up. That's fine. I didn't trade NVIDIA today with that in mind. And heading into the close, maybe there could still be a trade to work with. I mean, hey, this is still building higher lows, moving back up to the resistance line here at 780. Obviously, I'm going to put NVIDIA on our quote unquote watch list here to begin. The reason I say quote unquote watch list is because we are not forced to trade NVIDIA. If you don't trade NVIDIA itself or the options, there's going to be plenty of other stocks, tickers, symbols for you to look at. Simple as that. So it's not the CTU you must trade NVIDIA watch list. It is the CTU watch list here, if anything. So with that said, it's not just NVIDIA. I mean, it's really obviously the whole market altogether. This right here is the chip ETF. This is the sector in which NVIDIA falls under. We trade this ticker all the time, SOXL. So with it up 15 to 16% here, I'll just tag it with NVIDIA. AMD, obviously, you know that I'm more of a fan of trading AMD, I reckon, mainly because of the price. That's really it. That's all. But all three of those tickers, I'll add just to our watch list to begin. Right now, with that though, again, we've had a couple of trades here and there that popped really well for us at first, but dumped back down. LHRC or LRHC right there. You can see obviously now tanking. This one more from the pre-market hours popped up at first. It tried to make a higher low going into the open. And then from there, it kind of just collapsed. So as we go from top to bottom, you're going to see a lot of trades like this that look like this, that are complete losers now. And that's fine. But, just the morning moves that we capture, we don't want to be on the wrong side of that trade on the way back down. Same to be said with this crazy MNPR. I mean, really from the morning session, had one good pop, then a brutal shake. From that point, we took our eyes off it for a little bit. And you know what? Hey, it ended up providing a second chance for us to see this build a higher low, pop to make a higher high. Not just a second chance, mind you, but a third chance here. And not just a third chance, but now potentially a fourth chance. So MNPR with this push back up here taking us into the afternoon, I kind of have no choice but to put this back on our watch list here for now, right? Hey, again, if you find this to be a little too crazy, even though it's cheap and even though it's really liquid, I mean, very good order book, obviously, like we just said, pretty inexpensive. If you're not a fan of this type of stock, again, there's going to be others that we'll try and focus on. Let's see what else we got out there. We got Dogs, DOGS, or DOGZ, that is, for that matter, Dogness International. Pop and drop type of stock, though. I mean, building a bit of a lopsided head and shoulders, you could say here. Higher lows that built up, but broke the neckline, pulled back. Pretty skimpy order book there, too. So, not a fan of that Dogs trade. I'm a fan of dogs. Big dog fan, not a dogs stock guy there. BuzzFeed, pop and drop. Move on from that. Back to dogs. Nope. CLDI, just again, a lot of stocks looking like this pop and drop esque. Well, speaking of which, Root, this is actually a crazy drop off, but this is the type of stock that you want to stay away from. Not just because of the movement, but solely looking at the type of order book that you see here, right? Big spread, thin orders out there. Not for me. Pass. Let me keep it moving here, folks. We'll make this meeting pretty quick because honestly, there's a lot of you know what out there that there's no need for us to even think about. SMCI, if there's anything to mention on this one trade, obviously the order book is thin, but it's thin for a reason. It's obviously getting close to 1,000 again in terms of price. This had a crazy bounce back today, didn't it? I think that's largely based off of what's happened with Nvidia and the AI stocks out there with the earnings that we saw. So perhaps a bit of a sympathy play back up to resistance. We'll see if it ends up even pushing up higher. But this was a trade that Fausto was on top of from the last few weeks. And after he got out right around 1,000 on this day, we haven't really talked as much about it, looked for a new opportunity from that point. A nice little pump up from earlier today. Maybe we'll come back to it tomorrow if it's still sticking around. All right, now with NVIDIA, you got a bunch of these NVIDIA-based ETFs. There is zero need to be trading those right now. Uh, they're honestly too expensive in that case. I mean, we know how expensive NVIDIA is itself, but that's where I'd say either just trade one damn share of this stock here or just trade the options. That's it. All right, CPOT. Again, pretty similar from what we just saw before, pop and drop-esque. It's like trying to inch up a little bit here, but I am not going to be lured in. That is just a disaster waiting to happen. All right. So really quick from chat, one of us here in chat right now asking about the 4C stock. Well, definitely making a good move now. Much better push here and really from the early afternoon. So maybe we're late to the party from this initial break back up. I know Rajan, one of our students, was calling it out heading into the mid-morning. It was beginning to dump off at that point. But I told everyone at the time, I don't mind this stock. It's not like this is on a crazy order book. It's very tradable, 100% tradable. And it was a stock from a few weeks back that we killed it on. So we're very familiar with this move dating back to last year. I love the fact that this is back up to the highs here. So we're going to add this to our watch list here. And certainly, I feel like there could be more room for this trade here heading into the close. Already broke above the highs that we had from last month and the month before. So very strong trade right now, Rajan. Really like the stock 4C now. And perhaps you could say liked it from earlier here. Just I'm not sure if we were on the ball with calling it out at this time, but hopefully a lot more left from where it's at now. All right, NVAX pop and drop from this morning. This was probably the best trade across the entire day, just in terms of continuation. Pre-market breakout above resistance at 440. That got flipped into support at the open and led to the slingshot up higher. Now, hey, that's easy to say in hindsight, but if you were watching us inside our live trading room, as myself and Fausto were on the microphone live in the moment, we were calling this move out right in the moment right there, and a bunch of our students were in with us as it was pushing up from 440 in pre-market, and then from there at 5 afterwards. There's the 4C trade there, Rajan, just on the gainer side, so would have found it anyway. Rajan early to the punch, or quick to the punch on that. Not early to the punch. He's on that right on cue. Moderna mRNA, hey, nice little trend back up for this one right now. More expensive, similar to NVIDIA. I'll put this on our list just in terms of, if you want to focus on just trading the one share, do the option calls on it, that's different. But personally, we already have one expensive stock on our list. I don't like littering them. Actually, we got a few out there already, don't we? We got AMD and NVIDIA, and that's 2, and this makes the 3rd. So I don't like building out too big of a watch list with so many expensive stocks. So I'm going to try and keep it more contained. But how could you not put Moderna on our watch list here? Just breaking back over $100, potentially making a higher high off of it. All right, this thing's garbage. All right, let's hop over to the loser side here. Probably going to be a lot more that is up percentage-wise, folks. I mean, when the whole S&P and the SPY itself is up over 2% today, yeah, you're in a pretty good market right now. So, there could be a lot more that's up, maybe 5%, maybe 10%. Let me know in the chat. All hands on deck, folks. Right? All right, so from the loser side first, though, we go through here a bunch of crap that's like mere a penny. So we're going to skip over those actually for right now. You got the NVIDIA inverse, the bearish ETFs there. Pass on that also. Not NVIDIA, but Nova. Different ticker, obviously. Sun Nova Energy. Well, is that the low of the day? Looks like it's near 52-week lows. It's not 52-week lows. All right, so this thing has fallen back down, back into some consolidation. I'd say right around 820-ish, 825 could be a very strong daily chart level to look at. Hey, the fact that it's at the low of the day here, down nearly 24%, I'm going to still put this on our watch list. It's shortable. It's easy to borrow. So we'll see if this continues to drop more and potentially getting towards that big daily chart support level here, loosely speaking around 820-ish, 825. All right, let's see if there's anything else looking good here. Another energy company, Sunrun down big, so I could add that as well. I definitely could. I probably will. Let me just see what else is out there in the interim. And not much else that looks like a familiar name, at least one that's easy to borrow. I know Rivion's on here somewhere, RIVN. I saw it lingering here somewhere today. There we are. RIVN was a great short earlier today, and great options play if you're able to buy puts. So this was a pretty good drop from earlier this morning, but it's not really looking as clean now. So put Rivian back on your side list, kind of on secondary protocol list there, and check in with it tomorrow. That's all. Michael's saying Nova and Run down together. Absolutely, absolutely. So now that I just kind of skimmed through the loser side pretty quickly, I will 100% be adding Sunrun to our main list with Nova as a short. All right, so we got 2 shorts and the rest longs. Not bad. Actually like what we got a lot here heading into close. So again, from Michael, Roseanne, Margaret, all of our students here in chat, just let me know. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd want me to look at, or if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, etc., on top. Let me know. Here's NVIDIA. Here's the heat map, the level 4 right now for it. I mean, your major resistance is way up top at 800, but otherwise you could see across the early morning, it's really 780. Had a tough time breaking over 780 here. And again, I feel like we're bound to break it heading into the afternoon. The more that we keep seeing it nip that level, not only should it move above it, but get that larger reactionary breakout, that pop. All right, folks. But hey, going once, going twice. Let me know. Last call here if there's anything else looking good. AMAT here from one of us. Let's see. When did AMAT become 200? Holy smokes. Well, it's been on a tear since, really mid-23, mid-last year. But yeah, normally this type of stock is pretty expensive anyway, and just pretty sluggish for right now. So not really good. All right, folks, I think that we're just going to about call it. Actually, one thing I did not do, let me just break open Benzinga Pro. Last call from here from our trusty scanner from Benzinga. COGT. Maybe a little something there. Let's take a look. Maybe a lot of something. Maybe a lot of something here. Just popped up right as we started this meeting. All right, well, back to Benzinga. How about this? We'll check out their news feed. We'll check to see if there's anything good out on that trade right there. What was that, COGT? Bingo. Here we go at 2:30 sharp, right when I started this meeting. COGT announces positive Part 1B data for patients with non-advanced systemic mastocytosis. Okay. All right. Well, a lot of stuff that I don't know about. I will tell you that straight up. I am not really your medical pharma source here, but we're going to see if this continues. Obviously, a nice little headline out there. Actually, right as I'm talking, a little follow-up on top here live right now. Probably a few words that I can't pronounce. So with that said, it's not as much the news that we're focused on. It's more so the levels in which the stock is trading. Well, this stock is breaking above resistance, breaking above levels from the daily chart. That's a pretty good sign. It has a pretty damn thin order book, though. So give me a quick moment here. Try and launch the heat map here for COGT, and then we'll wrap up. Oh, this is not looking too easy on the eyes, that's for sure. So it looks like you got a little resistance up top here, 1050, 1040-ish. And I say little because it's only about like 5,000, 4,000 shares here on the ask. You don't really have real people out there on the order book right now, folks. And when I say real people, I hope you know what I mean when I say that. Like for reference, there is like 61,000 shares out there on NVIDIA at $780. That's a lot of volume given the price. For something that's this cheap, for the only to be 5,000 or 4,000 shares on the order book, like no one real is out there right now, folks. Don't get caught trying to trade a lot of shares of this thing. You can get crushed. So we'll see if this can continue to build support. I'm going to put this on our list, given more of the recent afternoon push, but be careful if the pop drop. That's all. All right. So You know what? In total, I like what we got here, taking us into the close, about 9 or 10 stocks to work with. All right. And then again, I'll be back on the mic, folks, from 3 to 4 p.m., just in about 10 or so minutes. So for all of us inside the live trading room, just stand by. We'll be back on. And again, for all of us on social, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., at Cyber Trading U is the handle. Feel free to follow, subscribe, and stay on board with us each and every day there. But if you wanted to get the full commentary and learn from our instructors, myself, and of course, Fausto himself there included, just scan that QR code on the top left of the stream. Gets you live access to a week-long trial inside our live trading room. And then, really you get to go from there and see the full-fledged commentary or chat board and everything else in between. All right, folks, but hey, for all of us there right now, I'm going to refill up on water, and then we'll be good to go coming up at 3 o'clock. I'll talk to everybody soon. Take care.